Okay, guys, welcome back to RGL LAN Day 2. We're going to be doing another interview with GlobalClan Ice's Grape Juice here. They are the official 5th place team here, if you consider the fact that they were put into the kids bracket with Mafia, Super Zaza, and the Wild Rebels team, Blanc Esports.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a little kids bracket if it had the Mafia in it. So they gave us some trouble in the regular season. They've given us trouble last season, season 14 as well. So to call it a little kids bracket, I think is a little disingenuous. But you know, the little kids bracket was like open red and blue. But we had a tough time. So yeah.
It's just a little bit of banter. It's a little bit of banter. Don't worry. I understand the capabilities of yourself.
Everyone, because you're the caster.
Yeah.
And you do all the production and stuff. So
That is.
we're all bowing down to you for like making the game happen.
That's a good point. No, but don't worry. I understood the potential you guys had because we're here at RGLM, but these guys did not actually qualify in the top 4. You guys started off early on in the regular season. You guys looked actually pretty strong, but towards the end, well, actually, I wouldn't even say you guys started strong because I saw like a bit of cracks here and there at the Fireside Cup where you guys played and you actually struggled in the quarterfinals versus Anglerfish. So was this... were you guys just having trouble finding cohesion this entire season?
Yeah, I mean, Yum Yum plays very differently from Shamu, and Penny plays very differently from Sin Karma. So immediately coming off of that like roster swap, it was very challenging for us because it was just not equating. And then with the Fireside Cup, we were going into last holds like with only one off class, right? And so to play the regular season it's like weird doing that. Like it just I don't know. When you can only have the one off class on last, it really like fucks up your whole last hold. It makes holding last so much more difficult. And so like early on, like it really exposed like the holes in our mid fights and the holes in really our second holds and any push that we have. Because if it goes bad and we're back on our last with this ad, we only have an NG or we only have a heavy or we only have a sniper, and it makes holding last like unplayable. So like relatively speaking, of course, so like 2 off classes.
Well, at the very least, you were able to continue playing with your soldier duo from the previous season, which was Quacks, and your medic, Hannah. And one thing that I do like to say about Quacks and Hannah is that they kind of came up at around the same time, like in terms of like making it into invite. Like Quacks came in around like season 11, 12-ish, and Hannah
12.
a little more recent because I guess she joined 13. With the Scratch team.
Yeah, it would have been 13 for Hannah. But Scratch, I mean, you skipped it, but it's sort of implied, but like Scratch stayed with us too between seasons as well.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of like having my team stay together for in between seasons. That's never ever happened to me before. And every single season, I'm like, I want like a good team, and I want to try and keep it together the next season. And you know, time after time, you know, people are like, I don't want to play. I'm gonna get picked up on this team. I'm gonna play with my friends. It's like no team ever stays together. And like this one stayed together with the only swaps being Yum Yum and Penny. So yeah, I think you were talking earlier about, you know, kind of falling off towards the tail end of the season. I think other teams just caught up. I think we were talking the talk a little bit of like doing demo reviews and putting in the work and, you know, making some changes, and we just struggled putting it into practice. So, you know, go up against the Mafia on Metalworks and take an L. It's like, I don't know. It was kind of Mickey Mouse. We weren't playing very good that night, like, you know. But sometimes it's not like, oh, we fell off. It's just the other teams rose, and you know, there's nothing. You know, if other teams get better, like, what can you do about it?
And I do want to say too about like the whole team as a, like you say you want to do all this stuff together, but I do also think of like the individual play styles of each player on the team, because Scratch, he's kind of like that guy that wants to be the guy, and that kind of also is consequential because he's like, I would say, without like having the stats on paper, I would say that he takes the most damage, like at least one of the highest damage taken per minute of the Pocket Scouts and Invite.
Yeah.
You have Penny, who's really good, like very consistent in my opinion, but I think from what I understood, like the comms are kind of like something that is like may have been like also something that kind of affected Penny in a little bit, but also like just having somebody like Penny and then you pair that up with Scratch, it's really hard to be cohesive alongside Hannah in that regard.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues with our team is our comms, like both seasons. Quacks is really loud and like really demands attention. Scratch is loud and demands attention. Hannah is especially loud and demands attention. I'm really loud, historically speaking, on most teams. I take on a pretty big supporting calling role, and I demand a lot of attention. Yum Yum speaks a lot and demands a lot of attention. And then Penny had no room to speak. So, like, Penny has no room to speak. Sin Karma, like, never spoke last season. That's just the kind of player he is. And then on this team especially, I had to tone back my comms because I'm not getting heard. And if I'm trying to get heard and it's just not getting through, then, like, I just have to tone it back and, like, choose when I'm speaking more carefully, I guess. But yeah, comms was a huge issue on our team, especially for Penny. Penny felt like he had no room to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like, because I watched a few of Hannah's streams I saw the match at the Fireside Cup. It felt like really Scratch wanted to be dominant, and then it's kind of like struggling between Scratch and Quacks. But did that ever mitigate towards the latter end of the season, or was it just like a constant issue that nagged you guys? And that kind of like, would you say that was the huge decision maker in between you and GlobalClan, your sister team, making LAN?
I think it was constant throughout the season, honestly. It was just you pick up your players, you pick up your friends, like Hannah, Penny, Scratch, Yum Yum are all friends with each other. So it's like, we can get these players and, like, we have a good, like, basis of friendship. I've known Quacks for a while now. Like, I've known Scratch for fucking ever. I've played against Penny forever. So, like, there's that, like, baseline, like, we all know each other and we all, like, understand each other to it. But then, the team dynamic, I think, is where we really faltered. And I think the experience of GlobalClan proper, fucking Shamu, Dank, Paul Dog, like, Pablo's, like, newer on the invite scene, but he's fucking phenomenal mechanically. Loaf is very, very, very underrated in my opinion. Like, they had Dingo or Sin this season. Like Dingo, I think, is a fucking phenomenal doman, but Sin just fits with their team really well and is, like, a huge part of why they made playoffs. And I think that team's ability to make good analysis and make good adjustments mid-game is what really put them over the edge. You saw that we played them on Snakewater twice this season.
Right.
And the first one, we almost 5-0'd them, and they came back and got 4 rounds on us, and we beat them 5-4. And then the next one, they 3-0'd us. And that's basically, they beat us 7 rounds to 1, essentially. If you take away that 4-0 in the first 10 minutes of the first match against them this season, it was 7 rounds to 1 on Snakewater for, I don't know, maybe an hour of game time that we played against them on Snakewater. And I think that's, like, a real, I mean, it speaks for itself. Like, those guys are very talented mechanically, very talented game sense analysis wise, and on our team, when we struggle to make the adjustments and they were snappy with it and really good with it, like, it doesn't surprise me that they beat us. And, it sucks to not make top 4, but I can't say they didn't deserve it. Like, if they were dog shit and they didn't deserve it, I'd be upset about it. But, like, they're very fucking talented players, and I look up to them, like, a lot. So, like, a lot of those guys were playing Invite when I was a little baby. So, yeah.
So when Crypt and Rakusa stepped down from the team, were you not approached by GlobalClan, or did you not inquire with Shamu, considering he was your former teammate that previous season?
I'm very close with those guys. I'm in their Discord. They have a little secret channel. And I've always been in there. They kicked me out this season because I wasn't on the team, but then I got added back after they clinched top 4. Yeah, I've always kind of, like, been wanting to play with them, but just I think G6 won a round. I don't know what's happening outside. I don't know if that picks up, but Shamu did ask me what I was doing next season. I'm like, I'm keeping the team alive. But I already knew preemptively that Shamu wanted to try and get the Dog Hogs back together, the Dog Hogs from season 12.
Yeah.
So, it was just one of those things. It's like, we're just going our separate ways, and that's like, okay.
Okay,
so
there's a mutual understanding.
Yeah, it was like a mutual, like, we're both just going our separate ways to, like, get the boys back together on Shamu's case, and then, like, rebuild my team on my case.
Okay. And here at the LAN, so, I mean, you guys still made it to LAN by registering your team for the open bracket. You guys had one of the worst starts you could ever have to LAN. You lost to Blanc Esports, aka the Wild Rumpus team, and you also lost, I believe, to the Mafia.
Yeah.
But you guys were able to claw it back, and you won your group's grand finals versus the Mafia in a pretty decisive manner. I was watching behind the Mafia crew.
It was pretty close, actually. The first Snakewater map against the Mafia today was really tight. They were up two rounds on us, and it took us took us a whole fucking hour to claw back and beat them 3-2. So, I mean, yeah, that was like a really rough game. It was another one. So yesterday, day one, our start was really bad. It was just
And the mental was shot.
the mental was shot, right? Because everyone's flights were fucked. Like, we had bad scrims the night before. Like, we just weren't playing right. We were getting used to, I guess, just the setting. Not to brag or anything, but this is my 6th LAN, so it definitely wasn't me. But like,
Humble brag.
but you know, yeah, it's just one of those things where you come out of the gate and it's like we should be winning these matches. The Wild Rumpus team puts up more of a fight than we thought, and it's like it shoots the mental, and it's like, yo, what the fuck are we doing wrong? And it's like da 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 da. We fixed it. Da 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 da. We lost to the Mafia, and it's like, okay, like lock in, and then we beat Zaza 5-0 in like 10 minutes, and it's like, okay, like we're back, and then the same three, like Rumpus, Zaza, and then we finished the Mafia yesterday, and we were like back. It took us a second. Those first 2 maps were like so dog shit that like
they were.
It could not possibly get worse, and yeah, so yeah, we did end up winning. I'm really proud of the team. Another one of those situations I mentioned on our podcast that in season 14 we were like having a really shit like middle of the season where we actually like we could have bottomed out at like 5th or 6th place or something like that. Technically, like at this LAN, same sort of thing. We caught ourselves after those 2 maps and brought it back.
Yeah, so it was more so just acclimating based on the issues that happened on Friday, and then once you had the day of rest, it kind of all worked out for you.
Yeah, a bit of a rough start this morning again. Mafia up two rounds on us, but claw it back. Put her away. Easy as.
So for the future of this GlobalClan team, are you guys sticking together, or like for you individually, do you plan on continuing to grind TF2 in hopes of making a future LAN?
I would love to, because I'm addicted, obsessed, and here all night. I love this game to death. Next season, I'm playing advanced though. I'm making a friend team. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna play Sprout. It's gonna be awesome.
You also did play Demo Man that one main season, I believe. At least you played it.
Demo in like
Scrim.
I played Demo in Open in like season 2031.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
I think you mentioned that in actually the podcast. So, with that being said, is a team? Would you see the team forming back together again if there was another LAN season announced?
Maybe. I think Hannah's done. I think Scratch is done. I think Penny's done for the time being. I think Penny's going to play advanced or something like that. So like, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. The future of TF2, like with teams, is always a little shaky. So you know, if it happens, it happens. You know. Yeah. Fucking. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, with that being said, we can close things up. Do you have any shout-outs before we wrap things up?
Okay, shout-outs to my team. Yum Yum, Quacks, Scratch, Hannah Peniferous, thank you so much. Shout-outs to the GlobalClan guys, GlobalClan proper, Shamu, Pablo, Electrocuso, Dank, Kryptonite, Paul Dog, Sin Karma, Dingo, fucking Dank. You know, those are my like buddies. I hang out in their Discord and shit. I talk shit to them all the time. So, Shamu, did I say Shamu? I fucking love Shamu. I don't know, dude. Shouts like G6 people. Shouts like Witness Gaming people. I don't know. All the fucking invite players. Like everyone I met. Like every LAN ever, I love meeting people. And I love giving people big old hugs. So, yeah, I don't know. If I talk to you this weekend, shout out to you. Shout out to everyone I didn't talk to, honestly. So, yeah. That's the cop-out answer. Shout out to everyone. I love everyone, you know. Shouts to everyone. But, yeah, you know.
It's a community.
Yeah.
Community that keeps us together.
Yeah.
All right, well, with that being said, signing off. We'll see you later.